Restore some pride. It matters. The lithium will power components like it's going to be being made in redwood redwood materials here in Charleston. The company's making the largest investment in the history of the state.
Well, President Joe Biden has once again struggled reading off the teleprompter in his latest public gaffe. President Biden hasn't had a great record with reading his speeches, and this time presenting in South Carolina was no different. He was there to talk about his economic agenda, praising his Bidenomics and investment in infrastructure. But of course, the teleprompter gaffe gained online attraction as the country begins to prepare campaigning ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Let's take a look back at some of the moments Joe Biden has struggled with the teleprompter. Last month, the president was saying "end of quote" while reading a poem during a White House speech.
And the next day, they sent someone out to survey her yard. As Beth wrote, "This is the best thing that's happened to rural America since the Rural Electrification Act brought electricity to farms in the 30s and 40s. End of quote.
In June, social media users were confused by what he was rambling on about while speaking to Air Force Academy graduates.
It wasn't all push-ups and cramming for Prague Week, though to set the Guinness Book of Records, world records, most simultaneous push-ups, there had to be an enormous amount of push-ups. Beyond you, but all of you, I think you had some fun along the way. Maybe a good use of your epic passes. That would be reason enough to join.
A few days later, the president was speaking at a community college in Nash County in North Carolina when he fumbled over his words.
I want to thank everyone in Rocky Mountain City Council, Nash County, Edgecombe County.
And in May, this happened.
We see it here again today in companies like, I hope I pronounced it right, Ame Power. Is it Ame? I believe that's right, yeah. Ame Power, Florida Small Business Winner Award winner, Business Week winner. You won.
In March, the president acknowledged his struggles while using the auto cue.
If they have to pay out $159 billion less.
At the end of March, Joe Biden received some laughter from the crowd when he made a few mistakes while speaking at the Women's History Month reception.
It's a time for celebrating extraordinary women who've made their mark in history, strengthened our nation, and like Jill, the First Lady, the first full-time lady, the First Lady who works full-time, in addition to being the First Lady.
A few days later, the president accidentally made this blunder.
So today, I applaud China for stepping up, I applaud Canada. You can tell what I'm thinking.
In the same month, Joe Biden was roasted for mumbling over his words while addressing the audience for the 2021 National Humanities Medal and National Medal of Arts ceremony, which was delayed due to COVID-19.
Today it says, and always one moon like a silent drum tapping at every rooftop and every window on every country. Let me start this over again. I'm getting so intimidated by it being here. And always one moon like a silent drum tapping on every rooftop and every window of one county. All of us facing the stars. Hope, a new constellation waiting for us to map it, waiting for us to name it together.
In February, the president stumbled over one word while discussing job growth and investments in Pennsylvania.
But I reported today on the state of the economy. This morning's report showed that the economy's strong. We added more jobs, over 500,000 jobs this last month, and the recalibration of last month.
And then, of course, a big stumble on words at the end of last year while speaking at the US Africa Leaders Summit.
Cisco Systems and Cyber Bastion, a diaspora-owned small business.
In September last year, Joe Biden was speaking in New Albany, Ohio, when he struggled with the teleprompter.
Folks, at home, You may be wondering, why is this such a big deal for manufacturers?
In July last year, Joe Biden went viral for saying "end of quote" and "repeat the line" when he was meant to emphasize on a point.
That the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and/or political, or maybe precise, not or political.
In May last year, the president struggled again.
And that's what public service is all about. It's that what the President Rank Award is all about.
In April last year, Republicans said this was alarming when the president couldn't pronounce kleptocracy, while also laughing and calling Russian oligarchs bad guys.
That will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies. But these are bad guys.
In November 2021, Joe Biden made an awkward blunder when he was making a speech about supply chains at the White House, where he said "end of quote" again.
Private enterprise and government working together has been really successful. He went on to say, all the way through the supply chain, there's a lot of innovation. Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change. End of quote. In the past 3 weeks, the number of containers.
In September 2020, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden attempted to read off his teleprompter when addressing COVID-19.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
Throwing it all the way back to 2016, he was then Vice President Joe Biden, poking fun at himself for struggling with a teleprompter.
You help one person at a time. And so my admiration for you is equally as deeply held by President. Stop moving what's this thing called? Teleprompter. Barack always kids and he says, Joe Biden, he said, I'm learning to speak without a teleprompter. Joe's learning to speak with one.